Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to make friends and get people to do what you ask when speaking English. Make sure to watch the entire video so that you don't miss anything. And if you need to, turn on the English subtitles for this video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. I'm doing a voiceover right now because this video was made during a live recording on Google Meets, and unfortunately someone had their audio on, so there were some audio issues. If you'd like to join me next Sunday for the live lesson, please look for the sign up in my Instagram stories. Alright, let's jump into it. Hi guys, and welcome to my channel Talk English with T, where we sip tea and talk English. Please like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss a video. Okay, so what is pragmatics? Does anybody know? I would like it if you guys could write down right now in the chat box, what is pragmatics? If you know what pragmatics are, please write it in the chat box now. If you don't know, I've been putting up the definition all throughout the week so that you can learn it, so that you get this exposure to it. You need to hear words, a vocabulary word, at least 12 times before it commits to your memory. And some language researchers say that you need to hear it at least 16 times, okay? So the more often that you can hear language, especially new language, that's what's gonna help you increase your vocabulary. So I have put up the definition of pragmatics about 12 times throughout my stories this week in different little ways. And if you also don't know, it's on my Instagram page as a post. I posted it last night. Yes, Rabina, you are correct. Pragmatics is the study of the meaning of words in certain contexts. Very good. So that's one way to say it, but I'm gonna give it to you in a less technical way so that you can really understand it. So just so you guys know, there's different types of English. There's formal English, which I think you do know about, and that's gonna be academic English. That's the English that we use in university to explain things. And the word pragmatics is actually an academic word. So most people who speak English might not know this word unless they actually study language, which if you don't know, I am pursuing a master in teaching English to speakers of other languages, which is you guys. So that's why I know this word. This is my work. This is my life study. I love it. This is what I do. Okay. So to put it in common language that anybody can understand, pragmatics is the way that people make meaning and understand meaning in a conversation. For example, look at this woman at the top here. She's smiling, she's fit, very much in shape, and she's person number one. And she says, "Don't you just love running?" Okay. Now I want you to look at person number two. This fat guy, he's sweating, he looks really tired, and he says, "Yeah, I just love it." Now look at these two people, and I want you to answer this question for me. You can write it in the chat box, okay? If you are watching this video on YouTube, you can write it in the comment sections. You want to write whenever I ask you to write so that you can get that practice, so that you can commit it to memory, so that you can see the words and hear them and have this immersive experience, okay? I'm not telling you guys or asking you guys to do things just for fun or because I just want to be a hard teacher. No, everything that I'm asking is because it will benefit you. It will help you develop and grow in your English. Okay? So I want you to write in the chat box or in the comments under this YouTube video right now, pause the video and tell me, does person 2 look like he loves running? Okay. What do you guys think? Does person 2 from this picture, does he look like he loves running? Because he said, yeah, I love running. Now, remember, we're talking pragmatics. Okay, guys, so I just want to let you know right now that if you've had trouble keeping up with the speed of my speaking up until this point, feel free to slow down this YouTube video. You can slow down the video to the speed that you need to be able to understand it, and watch it as many times as you need to understand everything in this video and get the extra practice. Okay? I see different things. I see he's tired. No, he's sarcastic. He doesn't say. Tigo said, I missed the context. That is the key point. Whether he really loves running or not, and here I'll go back to the previous slide. Whether he loves running or not is going to depend on the context. Because yes, if you look at this guy here, he's so tired, he's out of shape. And if you listen to my voice when I read it, for the person 1, I said, don't you just love running? That sounds excited, right? But then when I read number 2, I said, yeah, I just love it. That was sarcastic. That was not a true, I just love running. It's the best thing ever. No, that is not what he was trying to say. He was saying it in a manner of sarcasm. Okay? This is very important to be able to understand within any language that you are learning. And I'm going to give you guys some tips on not only why you should learn pragmatics, why they're important to know, but I'm also going to give you examples of how you should speak to people and when you should be careful. Okay? So why are pragmatics important to know? Okay? These are real life examples. These are real examples of text messages that I have gotten from different English language learners, okay? So different people who speak different first languages who are messaging me, a native English speaker, and whether they are trying to be rude or not, these were very bad. So let's look at this first one. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can read how bad this is, but this guy actually said to me, first, you need to impress me. Okay? Don't ever say that to anyone in English. Because when you say first, you need to impress me, that gives off the impression that like, oh, I'm some king or something, and you need to be this servant to me in some sort of way. Like, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if someone comes to me and they say something like, you need to impress me, and I'm just doing my job, and a lot of the things I'm like helping people for free, you can see here, this was my response. I was just like, no, bye. This guy needed help. But because he did not know how to speak correctly to a native English speaker, he lost that help. Whatever he wanted, he was not able to get. But I'm going to teach you guys how to get what you want by speaking appropriately. Because, like I say all the time, I love teaching. I want to help you. But if you're saying the wrong things to me, I'm going to probably say it's a no for me. Okay. And if you think that's just me, I'm going to give you an example of what has happened to a lot of English learners who go to Stanford, which, if you don't know, that is one of the top universities in the United States. They're an Ivy League school. So Stanford is this great Ivy League school. If you can get into that school, oh my gosh, your career is set for you basically the rest of your life. It'll open a lot of doors for you. But a lot of English learners were not actually doing so well there when it came to planning their schedules for the year. The reason why is because of the way that the English language learners were speaking to the advisors. When they were speaking to the advisors, they would sort of come off rude, and it would seem as if they didn't really want the help. So it just kind of made the advisors not want to help them as much as they would an English learner who knew pragmatics and knew how to be polite and speak appropriately in English. So I'm telling you guys this because if no one else will tell you, it will really hurt your relationships. You will not be able to make friends. You will not be able to get jobs. You guys are learning English for a reason. If you're learning English, it's probably because you want to use it in some context. You may want to talk to English speakers, or you may want to talk to other people around the world. You might want to get a job at somewhere. You're going to have to know pragmatics so you can know when you're being rude or if you're not being rude to people. So anybody have any questions for me right now? Did you guys get most of that? Do you understand what I'm trying to explain there?
For those of you listening at home on YouTube, if you understood most of what you just learned, put a thumbs up in the comment section. If you didn't, write a question that you still have about pragmatics. So I'm going to go on and talk a little bit more about why these are bad examples of what to say to people. But I forgot to share my screen again, so pause the video here so you can look at these examples of what not to say and study them a bit, and then I'll go on and explain why this is something that you should not say to people.
This is also going to be up on YouTube if you want to go back through and have another chance to look at this closely if you don't understand everything I'm saying. And you can also put on subtitles even here in Google Meets if you need them, okay? So this one, babe, don't call any woman in America babe, especially if you do not know her. That is really offensive, and we don't take it as a compliment. Oops. Okay. And this one I just thought was funny. I'm like, hi, how can I help you? Being polite and kind as we would in American culture. And then this person is just like, just text me and verify my mistakes. No, like, hey, how are you? Or could you please help me? No, just do this. And, I know these people don't really, I like to think the best of everyone. So in my mind, I don't think that they really mean it like that. But when you get a lot of people saying things like that to you all the time, it's just kind of like, you want to make friends and you want people to do what you're asking them to do, that is not the way to talk to them. And this picture kind of explains that, this guy, he's like, okay.
We have an expression here in America that goes, you get more bees with honey than vinegar. And what that means is you can get a lot more from people if you are speaking to them kindly and nicely than when you're kind of coming off as rude or mean or, in a bad way. So here are some tips for you on how to speak to people in English, okay?
Again, guys, I'd just like to apologize for the noise in the background. People were coming into the class late and they were coming with their audio on, so it caused a bit of noise. But I'm going to go on to explain how to speak to people in English the appropriate way. So if you would like to pause the video here to study this, that'd be great, because it will not be up on the screen because I forgot to switch it over.
Which, another way to say this, because I ran a test and surprisingly a lot of people got this wrong, but how to speak to people in English, another way to say that is how to speak to people appropriately in English. And it's kind of funny because with these sophisticated tests, it's a lot easier to see where a student's English level actually is, because a student can appear to understand everything on the basis, but when you ask things that deal with pragmatics, for example, which is the highest level of language, which is going to be the most difficult for you to really understand, unless you're an in-tune person, then I think you could probably pick it up. Some people just are less empathetic, I guess, but it could be just because of the different cultures, and maybe in some cultures it's okay to say certain things a certain way, but then in other cultures it's not. So, and in American culture and in English culture, I can tell you, people don't like to be so direct. You never demand, you're gonna come about a different way. So tip number 1, to speak politely, use modal verbs. Okay? Use modal verbs. That's going to be could, would, verbs like that. So do say, could you text me? Text with me and correct my mistakes. See, that's so much more polite. Instead of demanding, oh, just text me and do this for me. No, it's asking. This is actually asking. You're not telling someone, you're asking them. And that gives them a chance to say yes or no. Okay. The second thing, if you say no, give a reason for it. It's okay to say no. You can say no, but just give a reason for it, because it feels a bit more like you care about the person. You would if you could, but there's a reason you can't. So for example, if you're going to a party, just say, if someone asks you, are you coming to my party? Don't just say no and just leave it at that. It's like, okay, are we not friends? It's kind of rude. Instead, say something like, unfortunately, which a synonym to unfortunately is sadly, I can't go to your party. So that shows, okay, I want to, but I can't, sadly. I'm sad about it, I have to work early the next morning. Okay, you tell someone like that, when you say no and you give a reason for it, then they're going to be more understanding. Oh, okay, I can understand that. And it allows them, when someone else asks them at the party, why aren't you there? They can then say a valid reason why you're not there. And it doesn't look like you guys aren't friends or something like that. Another thing to do is use please and thank you when asking for things. Okay, that's very important. Use please and thank you. So for example, could you please correct my English mistakes? Thank you. So much more polite. It's the same thing that we looked at in the previous slides that where someone said something that they shouldn't say, this is just saying it in a nicer way where someone might actually help you and give you what you're asking for because you're asking for it in an appropriate way, okay? People just want respect. That's more so where this comes from. It feels more respectful when you're showing them that kindness, okay? And number 4, don't tell people what to do. Never tell people what to do. Make suggestions. And I will say in some instances, okay, like it depends on what position you're in, but American people don't even like when their bosses tell them what to do. We don't even like if our own boss tell us what to do. Bosses tend to even make suggestions. You might have a crappy boss who will just tell you in a mean way what to do, but in general, Americans don't like hierarchy. We like to feel like we're all equal to each other. So even if somebody is in a position where they have more authority than another person, they are still supposed to talk to that person as if they're on the same level and with equal respect, because you get more bees with honey. That's how you get people to do what you want them to do. If you're being kinder and asking in a nice way, most people, they'll be like, yeah, sure, why not? Okay. So an example to make an suggestion for example, maybe you should study. It would help you learn faster. Okay. So, you got a friend or someone, they want to practice English. They keep saying all the time they want to learn English. It's probably better to tell them, maybe you suggest to them, maybe you should study. It would help you learn faster, rather than telling them, bro, study. You're not learning because you're not practicing. You're not using them. Okay? Even though you might feel that inside, you still have to be kind about it, because you might be that person in another situation, in another context. It's all about pragmatics. When you have good pragmatics, you can almost get people to do anything. It's crazy. It's just all about like being kind and respectful and, treating people how you would want to be treated, especially, taking in consideration when someone is doing something for you and thanking them and showing them that you actually care. Like, I actually care about all of you guys and I appreciate all of you guys. And that's why I do these free lessons, even for those who can't afford the private ones, because I do value you and I do want to help you guys and I want to create this international community. Pragmatics are one of the hardest things to teach because you have to it's like reading body language. You can't read body language if you don't see someone. So if you don't have them in front of you. So the best way to learn pragmatics is watching movies. When they say certain expressions, how are the people holding their body? What does their face look like? Try to gauge the meaning from their body language and not just their words. Because you can say one thing and you mean another. Just like we saw with that guy running. He's like, yeah, rolling his eyes, tired. Yeah, I just love running. He didn't look like he really loved running. That's because he did. Okay. All right, guys. I want to thank you all for joining me today. I'm going to put some of this up on Instagram. And yeah, so that's all. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? If you have any questions for me on YouTube, please write your questions in the comments. They must be about this lesson. If you have questions about other things, please check out my Instagram page. I have a lot of different topics. Maybe some of them are older. Just scroll through and look through the photos. There's tons of mini English lessons as well on Instagram. If you feel like you need more one-on-one practice, that there's something specifically that you want to grow in, then I would suggest private lessons. All right, guys, so I got to get to editing this video. I hope to see you next Sunday. I will let you know what the topic will be sometime during the week. And of course, just look in my stories for sign up. But if I already have your email, you don't have to send it again, okay? I can just resend. I'm going to send it out to you anyway. So if you've already given me your email, you don't have to sign up, give it to me again. I will just send it out to you. All right, guys, you can keep talking in here if you want. I would suggest so because this is how you can make friends and practice your English. A lot of you guys are saying you want English speaking partners. This is the way. Help each other. I'm trying to create this space for you. All right, bye.
All right, guys, thank you for listening. Please follow me on Facebook if you would like to share these videos with your families and friends. And like and subscribe to this video. Thank you. Bye.